Hello everyone, I'm Saurabh Srivastava here. Today I'm going to read through the chapter 3 of Failing Forward by John Maxwell. Chapter 3, if you have failed, are you a failure? That's the chapter 3. It starts with a quote. Failure isn't so bad if it doesn't attack the heart. Success is alright if it doesn't go into the head. Grantland Rice. Then chapter moves on about a story about late Irma Bombeck, who wrote widely syndicated weekly humor column until a few weeks before her death in 1996. So she went through a lot of challenges, but she kept moving on with one or another decision. So that ultimately she ended up being as recognized as one of the top 25 most influential women in America, appeared frequently on television show Good Morning America, and got innumerable honors and or was on the cover of Time magazine and awarded 15 honorary degrees. Here is her story in her own words. But during that span of time, Irma Bombeck also experienced incredible troubles and trials, including breast cancer, mastectomy, and uh, kidney failure. And she wasn't shy about sharing her perspective on her life experience. I speak at college commencements and I tell everyone I am up there and they are down there, not because of my successes but my failures. Then I proceed to spin all of them, a comedy record album that sold 2 copies in Beirut, a sitcom that lasted about as long as a donut in our house, a Broadway play that never saw Broadway, book singing where I attracted 2 people, book signing where I attracted 2 people, one who wanted directions to the restroom, the other who wanted to buy the desk. What you have to tell yourself is, I am not a failure. I failed at doing something. There's a big difference. Personally and career-wise, it's been a corduroy road. I have buried babies, lost parents, had cancer, and worried about kids. The trick is to put it all in perspective. That's what I do for a living. That's very true. And see, in this paragraph, she is sharing how what all she went through. Everyone goes through that. Are we moving on? Tell yourself, I am not a failure. I failed at doing something. There's a big difference. That's such a powerful statement there. Every genius could have been a failure. We all go through our own challenges. If we consider them as the full stop, then we will stop. All great achievers are given multiple reasons to believe they are failures, but in spite of that, they persevere, and that is what makes the difference. Failing forward is not false self-esteem. A very good example quoted here. Ultimately, John Maxwell talks about his approach, here is the approach I use to encourage and lead others. Value people, value the people around you, give them the feeling that they are the most important. Praise effort, uh, praise their effort, that what they are doing, praise that right there and then. Reward performance, and give a incentive for that, or do something about it, just like you train your dog. So you work through whatever progress they make, or just like you work with your kid, whatever they are doing, talk through them and work through that. 7 abilities needed to fail forward. So here John Maxwell talks about 7 different abilities that is needed. Achievers reject rejection. Author James Allen states, a man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. That's why it is important to make sure your thinking is on the right track. Achievers see failure as temporary. We all have to see it temporary because we can move on and we can achieve greater things after that. Achievers see failure as isolated events. When achievers fail, they see it as a momentary event, not a lifelong epidemic. Achievers keep expectations realistic. Achievers focus on strength. We might have our weaknesses. If that weakness is not about character, if a weakness is a matter of character, it needs much attention. But if it is about something else, then we just move on. We focus on the strength and how we can put it together to move on. Achievers vary approaches to achievement. The psychology of achievement. Brian Tracy writes about 4 millionaires who made their fortunes by age 35. They were involved in an average of 17 businesses before finding the one that took them to the top. They kept trying and changing until they found something that worked for them. That is very true. We have to keep working on what is the best fit for us, and then focus on it and get it done. And here is the author John Maxwell talks about a story about Dick Fosbury, who changed how the high jumping is done. There is a new method that he introduced and won the gold medal in 1968. After that, and he broke world record, Olympic record, and after that, every one now high jumpers use that method too. And initially, when he started, it was quoted as Fosbury flop. If he would have stopped, we would have not seen what we are seeing in high jumping now. Achievers bounce back. That is the 7th one. So achievers do fail, but they bounce back. Psychologist Simon Caruthers says, life is a series of outcomes. Sometimes the outcome is what you want. Great. Figures out what you did right. Sometimes the outcome is what you don't want. Great. Figure out what you did so you don't do it again. That's the key to bouncing back. Very true. One who refused to be a failure. So here he talks about a story of Daniel Rutiger, that there is a movie on that, and he talks about the dream of his to play for Notre Dame while he was 5 feet 6 inches and with not much of athletic abilities, and how he did it. It's an amazing story. Go through that. It will make you feel that what all we can do. And last paragraph, I think and that's the great thing about Rudy's story. He doesn't have the athletic ability of Michael Jordan, nor is he genius like Mozart, Van Gogh, Edison, or Einstein. He is just a regular person like you and me. The only reason he is an achiever instead of average is that he refused to let failure get the better of him. He learned that no matter how many times you fail, it doesn't have to make you failure. Your third is, so now writer John Maxwell concludes this. Your third step to failing forward. Remove the you from failure. If you have been thinking of yourself as a failure, you can break yourself out of the negative thinking pattern. Look at the area of your life where you have repeatedly failed and do the following. Examine your expectation for that area. Write them down. Are they realistic? Do you expect to do everything perfectly? Do you expect to succeed on the first try? How many mistakes should you expect to make before you succeed? Adjust your expectations. Find new ways to do your work. Brainstorm at least 20 new approaches, then try at least half of them. Focus on your strength. How can you use your best skills and personal strengths to maximize your effort? Vote to bounce back. No matter how many times you fall down, pick yourself up and keep going. Don't wait until you feel positive to move forward. Act your way into feeling good. That's the only way to start thinking more positively about yourself. So till now we have covered 3 steps for failing forward. Steps to failing forward. Remove the you from failure. Realize, so let me start it back. Steps to failing forward. Realize there is one major difference between average people and achieving people. That's the first chapter we talked about. refer to my first video on failing forward. Learn a new definition of failure. That is the second chapter, and remove you from failure. That's the third way of doing it. So with that, I am done with the chapter 3 today, and I will be sharing chapter 4 soon. That is tomorrow. I'm looking forward to talk to you guys again. If you like this video, please share your comments and like this video and subscribe. And looking forward to share my reading what I read today. Thank you. Bye.